Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. This is going to be fun. This is a show that I've been planning for some time because, like many people, maybe you included, I've strolled the aisles of Walmart and have noticed a turntable that looks awfully similar to an LP60, but it isn't an LP60 because it says it's an LP-GO. And I've only seen these at Walmart. So what's the deal? Let's go ahead and unbox it, test it, do a side-by-side comparison to a regular LP60X, see if there's any difference. We'll do a direct feed sound test, all that kind of stuff. Mostly we're just gonna have fun. You're not gonna wanna miss this. It's true, this is not an LP60X-BT. It's not. It's actually an LP-GO-BT. What the heck is that? It's a Walmart exclusive version of the LP60X-BT. Why would that matter? Why would you want that? You know, why is this happening? People have been confused. There's Reddit threads. People are saying, oh, it must have been a typo or Walmart screwing up and printing the wrong name on the boxes. There's all of this, conspiracy theories out there on all this stuff. But in actuality, no, it's very much true. This is not the LP60X-BT. It's an exclusive version of that product for Walmart. So why would you want to get this one instead of the other one? By the way, I've got both, so we're going to look at them side by side. I purchased this from Walmart a couple weeks ago because I've been itching to do this show, and the time was right. I'm just like, you know what, let's just do this. I want to do this side by side. I've got both the normal version and the Walmart exclusive version now, so I thought it would be fun to kind of see how they stack up side by side. The biggest thing is cost. This was $159. You can go on their website, you can go in the store and purchase this today for $159. That's a significant discount over the current price. Now the price is always changing. Even on Amazon, the LP60X-BT, as of the filming of this, is $219. So you're going to save a heck of a lot of money and get what I'm almost positive, without even opening the box, is an identical product. But we're going to verify that. We're going to run it through its paces. We're going to test it out. We're going to do all of that fun stuff. But something to be aware of, and if you wanted an LP60X as a secondary turntable, this might be a good way to pick one up on the cheap. Or if you're thinking about making the leap from an all-in-one system, a suitcase player, to something with much better sound quality, this could really be the ticket. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got. Curiously, they decided to put the handle for the box on the bottom. Okay, makes sense. By the way, if you go to the Technica website, it's weird. There's actually a page for this device, and it says available exclusively at Walmart, but I don't think you can get to that page unless you click an external link into it. Like, I don't think you can browse to it because they want you just to buy the regular one. So I would love to be privy to the conversation behind the scenes that resulted in this product. Because as you know, when companies go to CES, good grief, trying to get this open. When companies go to CES, they actually negotiate the deals that they're going to have throughout the year on products. So companies like Technica will host meetings with executives from Walmart, from Target, and in those meetings they will talk about, discounts, quantity, et cetera, of the regular products. So the fact that they somehow not only did that, but said, you know what, let's have an exclusive version. And what's also interesting to me too is that if you look here, at a glance, it looks like LP60. And I don't know if that's by design, but it looks like that could have been a 6. And I think that's why a lot of people maybe think that it was a typo, but it's not. Okay, so here we go. And I wonder how much of the LP-GO branding is going to be incorporated as we get into the product itself. Is it just a different box? Is it truly marked separately? That says LP-GO-BT. We've got the 45 adapter. This 45 adapter isn't as heinous as the super El Cheapo ones that we usually see. this is one step better. At least it's somewhat solid. It's still not as good as the Record-ology one. So, by the way, those are still available. Some people recently, in a poll that we conducted, indicated that they did not know. That's all that's in the box, by the way. They did not know that there was Record-ology merchandise. If you click on our store tab, or if you click on the merchandise shelf, which should be below the video that you're watching right now. So check that out. Obviously, any purchase you may make would go to support the channel. Yeah, it's like, what's the holdup here? We got something underneath. So the platter is going to be there, taped underneath. So let's go ahead and cut the tape here. Then we should be able to gently remove these end caps. Styrofoam. Don't throw this one away though, because we got accessories. That will be a power supply. And this will be a audio cable. So we'll set those aside for the time being. And then we've got, as I always say, the device itself. Underneath here is the platter and platter mat. Set that aside for the time being. The device is wrapped in this plastic. Set that aside. The dust cover has its own foam wrap, which is a good thing. There won't be a whole lot of assembly with this. Remove this. All right. Somehow it's come off of the clip there. No big deal. That's pretty much it in terms of unpacking it. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is beautiful, by the way. This smoked. I don't think the regular one, at least the one I have, doesn't have a smoked dust cover. You guys know I'm a nut for smoked dust covers, and this one looks gorgeous. I love it. Mine is just a clear one, or maybe a clear blue. So I'm already liking that. That looks really, really good. And let's look under the hood a little closer here before we put the platter on. It's a great excuse to take a peek at the inner workings. Okay, so this is a fully automatic turntable. It's incredible. This is an incredible turntable. Let me be saying, what are you talking about? You haven't reviewed it yet. Well, I'm making a guess, a wag, as they say. I am making an assumption that this will essentially be what we've looked at a couple times before, and it should be awesome. So the caveat being that this is somehow different, but it's not. So let's jump into it. Yes, this is fully automatic, and this thing is essentially the size of an LP. I happen to have an LP nearby, and if I put it right over the top there, you can see it's not much bigger than a 12-inch LP. So you're getting a fully automatic turntable, no speakers included for the newbies that may be asking, and I do get the question a lot. There are no speakers included. You will need an external sound system for this. It is small. It's really, really small. So if you don't have a lot of space, this is just a great option in that regard. So this mechanism, this automatic return and start mechanism, and even the placement of the motor, et cetera, is a design that's been around since the mid-90s, early 90s. Iowa had a series of record players, as did Sony, and many other companies have used this essential basic design. I want to throw out there too that this is made by Handpin Turntables of China, the same company that makes the LP120 series, the same company that makes the Crosley C100, C200, and many, many, many turntables under many different brands, and they do good stuff. They've always made this, and there's really no problem with it whatsoever. That's why it's such a great turntable. It used to be $98 for the basic one of these a few years ago before COVID. You used to be able to get the basic LP60X for $98. And that was such an incredible deal. Even at $159, this is still an incredible deal. So we've got these cogs and gears that are related to the auto return mechanism and the auto start. Something that many people aren't aware is that all of these automatic things are actually powered by the motor. And the motor is right back there. You can see the brass pulley right there, and it's got a little rubber mount there under these screws. The motor drives the platter. It is a belt-driven turntable. So this is the only source of power. That includes the rotation of the disc, and the movement of the tone arm. You'll be saying, how can that be? Well, as the platter rotates on here, it moves a series of gears and cogs. And underneath this plinth, if you were to look on the underside, and we've taken these apart before, so go check those out if you want to see the details. It's a series of clockwork parts that translate the rotation of the platter into the movement of the tone arm, the lifting, the dropping. It's a marvel. It really, really is. Something to behold. It's a fantastic thing. It really is. So here is a holder for the 45 adapter. Here's the Bluetooth out pairing switch. Here's the size selector switch. We'll look at this stuff closer up. This is the size selector switch, the cueing switch, stop, start, speed switch. It is a 2-speed, fully automatic stereo turntable. Tone arm, everything's automatic. It features the Audio-Technica 3600L cartridge. You can't upgrade the cartridge, but you really don't need to. The 3600L is a fantastic cartridge. You can upgrade and replace the stylus, which is the white housing and the needle underneath, but it's got a carbon fiber cantilever. It's a dual moving magnet. It sounds great. There's nothing wrong with it. Plus, it doesn't cost a lot when you need a new stylus. So don't let the fact that the cartridge is permanently affixed be a huge issue for you. If you have to have replaceable cartridge, then look at the LP3, which we've reviewed extensively again. But yeah, it's a fantastic, fantastic upgrade. If you have a suitcase player, if you have an all-in-one unit, and you get this, you are going to fall off your chair at the sound quality improvement you're going to hear. Here's a closer look at these switches down in the bottom right. Again, you can change the size of the record, and the reason why is that if it's a 12-inch record versus a 7-inch record, that changes where the needle will drop. So it needs to know that. Fancier record players, especially vintage automatics, will sometimes automatically sense that, which is really cool. This one, you need to tell it, 12-inch, 7-inch. You can also raise or lower the stylus manually by hand. I mean, you can always, it works as a full manual too. So just the fact that it's automatic, say you want some manual control, or you want to play a 7-inch or a 10-inch disc and it doesn't have a 10-inch size, well, you can always manually play it just like any record player. So you can manually do that, or if you push the cueing switch, it raises the tone arm as well. And then you literally put the record on and hit start. That's how easy this thing is. What a great beginner's turntable. Over here, a closer look at the speed selector switch and that Bluetooth thing. There'll be a light either blinking blue or red, and it'll flash depending on what state it's in, all that good stuff. All right, let's put this thing together. The platter is cast aluminum, so it's got some weight to it. Got to have a metal platter. You just really have to have a metal platter. That, to me, that's like a, and again, like I said in the Reticus video, it's not a complete deal breaker. You can still have a decent-ish, good-ish turntable with a plastic platter, but this does an important job because motors, electric motors, no two are the same. They've all got little variances and differences. They've got speed inconsistencies, et cetera, that can impact the sound quality. And if the platter is light, then the speed, the rotation, and the stability is relying on the accuracy of that motor. Whereas if you have a heavy platter in between, it acts like a flywheel, meaning that if there are speed issues from the motor, they can be absorbed by the inertia of the flywheel, which is the platter, and that's a good thing. So hopefully that made sense. Made sense in my head, which isn't saying a lot. Got a ribbon here to help us place the belt, and it looks like I have flipped it by mistake, so I'm going in there. Don't be afraid to touch the belt, it's okay. And I move this left and right a little bit just to make sure that it's on there good, that it's resting flat, that it's not twisted over on itself. The heavier the platter, the better, in my opinion. That's not just my opinion. I mean, there's some science behind that. We have the platter mat. The platter mat is a felt one. You can upgrade the platter mat if you want a different kind. Platter mats that are made out of felt usually were instantly replaced by me because I didn't like them as much, but they're starting to grow on me. They are starting to grow on me. I'm typically an acrylic platter mat fan, By the way, there is a little bit of a lip around the edge of the platter, on the edge, around the edge, on the edge. And you may be saying, well, then this surface right here is lower than the lip. It's not going to bow your records. If anything, if you were to play it, you had a raised hub, it would actually even it out. But you wouldn't play your record directly on the aluminum. Platter mat is pliable, and it's designed to have some give to it. So it's actually a very good surface. And that lip, if anything, serves to provide an area for the raised hub of a raised hub record. You may have noticed on my community feed earlier this week, or a few days ago, I actually posted a picture of my LP60X-BT. And the reason why is, knowing I was going to be doing the show, I wanted to refamiliarize myself with it. It had been some time since I used it, listened to it. That one I got for $40 at a garage sale back in Colorado, and it was a fantastic deal because, you know, they usually don't you don't find them for $40 used. Like, you're not going to find it in a thrift store most of the time. People will find crazy deals, but that was a killer deal, even if the dust cover is scratched up a bit on that one. But I wanted to refamiliarize myself before I reviewed this. So again, if there's any differences, we'll look at them side by side. We'll also do a direct feed sound test, so stay tuned for that. But if there was any difference, I wanted to be able to notice it. All right, if we look on the back panel here, we've got the power supply, 12 volts. We have an analog out. You may be saying, where's the RCA output? Well, the cable that came with it is a 1/8 inch on one end to plug into here, and stereo RCA on the other end. And if you use an external preamp, you can see the preamp is built in, line or phono level. If you choose to use an external preamp, you don't need a grounding post. So you can actually, they use one of the, I think they use a left channel shield to ground out, if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, typically a record player with an external option for preamp will have a terminal designed for that purpose. It'll be a grounding terminal. But some record players, like the U-turns, don't do it, and this doesn't do it either. You can use it just with that same analog out. In this case, for the purposes of this test, I'm going to use the built-in preamp. So I've got it set to line level. Okay, we've got the audio cable connected. Now the power cable connected. It's easy as that. Let's power it up and see how it works. Like many record players, this device does not have an on and off switch. You may be saying, what the heck? It's in an always on state. And don't worry, it's not going to make your electricity bill go nuts. It draws very little power when it's not in use. But there is no on and off switch. I wanted to mention that because before I plug this in, I wanted to let you know that sometimes, because the movement of the tone arm is dependent on the position of this and the inner workings, when you very first plug in an automatic turntable, it's wise to raise the tone arm, because if it happens to be through shipping, et cetera, in the process halfway through a return cycle or something, you don't want the needle to accidentally drop on the felt platter mat. That would be bad for the needle. I've done it many times and the needle survived, but still, you don't want to do that. So I would just caution you to raise the tone arm. I'm doing that with the switch right there. Now I'm going to plug it in. I've noticed many times when you plug in an automatic turntable, it'll start spinning right away because it's in the middle of something. So let me go ahead and plug this in and let's see what this one will do. After all that, it probably won't now. Okay, so I just plugged it in and see, it was in the middle of a cycle. So let's see if it's going to move. Yep, see, it's moving it. See, thank you for validating this. Thank you so much, record player. So it happened to be at a certain position in the rotation cycle. And if you were just hooking this up for the first time and like, what the heck? Your needle would be dragging on the felt platter mat right now, which we wouldn't want. So we can hit the stop switch and it'll go back home. Lower the queuing thing there so it'll drop. And yeah, so that's what'll happen. You'll also notice this is flashing red and blue, so it's defaulting into Bluetooth pairing mode. And we are indeed going to test the Bluetooth. So let me grab my Bluetooth speaker. But before I do that, I'm going to attempt to show you a record that I've never had on the channel before. This is a very cool sort of audiophile pressing, the John Evans Orchestra. Exotic percussion and brilliant brass. Dynamic directional stereo. And the reason why I say attempt is because I'm trying to find records that sound good, interesting, good quality obviously, but that won't trigger a content ID match on YouTube. And the reason why that's important is if I use music that gets a content match, it's not like a you're in trouble kind of a thing. They actually appreciate you hosting the music because then they can make ad revenue off of it. But the problem is if that happens, when you watch an ad, it doesn't support the channel. It goes off to somebody else. So you sit through those ads. I appreciate it. I want to make sure that the revenues from that will help support the channel and the content that we're able to provide to you. So that's the whole thing behind that. I've never had a content strike like ever. And I've had a lot of content ID matches. It just means I have to go back and re-edit the video until YouTube's happy with it. I'm happy with it. Makes it very difficult for doing a show about record players when you need to play records all the time. Let me grab the speaker. So like I said, it's gone off of Bluetooth pairing mode. So I'm going to press the pairing switch again, long press. Now I'm going to take my Bluetooth speaker and I am going to try to get it into pairing mode. Shouldn't take too long to connect. And we'll hear a chime when it does. Okay, took about 30 seconds. The light went solid blue there. I'm going to hold the speaker up back here by the microphone so you can hear it, but what you're hearing is coming out of here. It's not a direct feed yet. We will do a direct feed. So to operate the turntable, we pick the size. 12-inch record, we have it on 12-inch. 33, we have it on 33. There's two positions on this switch. So recessed is 45 and not recessed is 33. So it's a 33 RPM record. Besides that, here we go. I'm going to hit start. It's going to do the rest. It's going to know where to drop the record. It raises a tone arm, rotates it across to the start of the record. Just ease of operation. I love an automatic turntable. Absolutely. You hear the needle drop. Sounds good. And I can raise the tone arm up like I said. I can manually cue a different song and lower it just like that. Or I can hit stop and it'll bring it home, shut the record player off completely. Also, if you let the record play through, it will return automatically, shut itself off. So yes, you can fall asleep to your records without any stress of the record spinning all night long. You know what? Let's show it. I'm going to show it to you, not just tell you about it. Okay, the record is done and it goes to the end and it raises and it returns, it lowers, and it shuts itself off. No, there's not a mute cycle for the needle drop. Some automatics have a mute. The only one I have that does that is my Technics SL-DL1. But I've never said, dang, I hate hearing that needle pop when it touches the vinyl. Some people, maybe, but for me, no. So we need to hook it up to a direct feed sound test. But before we do that, we need to do a couple other things. One, we need to test the speed accuracy. We need to look at the tracking force. And we need to also compare it to the original LP60X-BT, which I happen to have. Okay, this is a strobe warning. Consider yourself strobe warned. We're going to go ahead and put the stroboscopic disc on there. And we are going to raise this up and rotate it. And this will help us to check the speed accuracy of this. Hopefully, it's right on target. Changing the lights up a little bit. Looking right here. It's nearly still moving a little bit to the left. That's a hair fast. And I would like it to be a hair fast rather than a hair slow. That should be imperceptible audio-wise. You can get underneath the bottom side and there's trim pots. I should have shown the bottom. I'll show the bottom in a minute. But you can make adjustments to the speed if you so desire. And then let's go to 45. That will be looking right here. Same thing. Lines marching to the left. A hair means a hair fast, but close enough for government work. This next step, you want to make sure that you unplug the unit because when we rotate the stylus over onto our gauge, we want to make sure that the gauge doesn't go flying. So here is my little digital gauge and we are going to place the stylus right on top as soon as it zeroes out. Okay, there's 0. I'm going to lower it down into place. And again, tracking force is dictated by the cartridge. The Audio-Technica 3600L cartridge tracks anywhere from 2.5 grams to like 4 grams. This is tracking closer to 4, 3.3. So again, it's a nice light tracker overall. Won't do any damage to your records. None whatsoever. In fact, it's actually more dangerous to track a little too light. And I want to do a side-by-side between this and the regular LP60X-BT. So far, this is just so incredibly close that I'm going to say it's the same turntable. I don't see really... The only thing different at all that I've noticed is this smoke dust cover. And also, I think the regular one, the platter bed, has Audio-Technica written here instead of the Audio-Technica logo. Sometimes they're flipped, they're like reversible. This one is plain black on this side and it's got the full-size logo here. But I think it looks cool. I think that's not a problem whatsoever. Also, I promised you that we would look at the bottom side of it, so let's do that. I'm going to rotate this in such a way that the tone arm's in the back, and the reason is there's no clip to secure the tone arm in place, and this platter, if you flip the record player upside down, would actually fall out. There's no C-clip there. So I'm going to be a little careful here. And there is the bottom side. See, the front 2 feet are inside this sort of plastic decorative foot. We have a couple of things here. So the speed controls are here, but if you want to adjust the reject point or the drop point, basically where the cartridge will be dropped onto the record and then returned off of the back end of it, you can make those adjustments as well. And then if we look on the back here, one thing I didn't notice earlier when we were back here is, does it say LP60 or LP-GO? And as you can see, it does say AT-LPGO-BT. Audio-Technica Corporation, made in China. Okay, there's the LP-GO on the left. And here is the LP60X-BT. And as you can see, there's a couple superficial decorative differences. We've got the smoke dust cover. Definitely the winner in my opinion. Clear dust cover with scratches, but again, $40 at a yard sale. This has sort of this gunmetal gray color to it. This is just black. Also, the LP-GO just says Audio-Technica, whereas this one says Audio-Technica LP60X-BT. Everything else looks the same to me. Oh yeah, the dust cover, or not the dust cover, but the slip mat. So this one has that one I was just talking about, where it's got the Audio-Technica branding like that, plain back side. It's the same thickness, but the tone arm, the tone arm looks a little more of a, no, it is the same tone. It was a chrome metal tone arm, same counterbalance. I was trying to see if there was a difference in colors. Really not. Like all the everything that's written on the turntable is in the same place. I'm going to say this is an identical turntable. So this is more of a marketing difference than a physical one. So I am going to say that they are identical. Now you can pull the specifications, which I may insert here or not, and compare them side by side, but I'm thinking they're just identical. So the LP-GO is a heck of a way to get a good deal on this same turntable. And if you don't want it to say LP-GO, well, it doesn't say anything on the front, just on the back. Nobody has to know. So yeah, there you go. But we still need to listen to it. So let me get this one out of the way. We'll connect this to a direct feed, and you can feast your ears on the Audio-Technica LP-GO. Okay, this is your final warning. Put on those headphones. You're going to be immersed in the experience. So again, to explain the setup here, I am using the internal preamp, the one that comes built in. This is not a preamp, this is a headphone amplifier. So I got that line output coming into the headphone amplifier. The headphone amplifier is acting sort of as a pad because I've got the volume actually decreased a bit so that this device can handle it. This has a line input that's really a mic level input, and that's why I have to do that. So we're recording at CD quality audio. Obviously YouTube will compress it, but it might as well start uncompressed. This will be high quality recording direct from the stylus to your ears. Without further ado, let's drop that needle. All right, my friends, it sounds good. Doesn't it sound good? I love this turntable. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's still, I think, if not one of the top 2 best turntables for beginners. And really the only difference was, I think the coloring of this one is a little different. It's like an exclusive gunmetal color. I may be wrong on that, but I think that that's the only difference in the smoke dust cover. I love that. So those are benefits to me. I think those are good things. And for $159, it's a lot cheaper than not only the Amazon one, but especially the LP60 that's offered directly through Audio-Technica. So it's a no-brainer. Definitely would recommend this. This is the way to go if you want to hack on how to get a cheap, brand new LP60X Bluetooth turntable, fully automatic, so small, sounds wonderful. Also, I wanted to add in there, it features, as does the other one, aptX codec for the Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth 5 with aptX compatibility. That means that you can do lossless streaming over Bluetooth. I know a lot of people are like, Bluetooth is terrible, thumbs it down, etc., etc. Well, the Bluetooth connection itself can actually facilitate a lossless connection. This particular one has a DAC in it, and all Bluetooth transmitting devices do. It has a DAC, and it encodes at basically CD resolution. So it's going to be 16 bits, either 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate, or I believe there's a 48 kilohertz sampling rate option as well. Basically CD quality, which is lossless, sending it through an aptX codec. You can have fantastic sound quality even through Bluetooth. So, like I said, this product is a Walmart exclusive, therefore you got to go to Walmart to get it. However, you can buy it online through Walmart. I'll put a link down below for that. And as I was talking about earlier in the show, we do have merch. So check out the merch shelf. Mostly, I just want to say thank you for being there, for your support, for your friendship, and for all the love. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. So happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.